We're talking Eagles training camp day 2. What did Vic Fangio say? We just heard from Vic Fangio, his press conferences, what happened at training camp, and everything. We're about to talk about it all, so let's get straight into it.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I'm oversending a fantastic day today. So we're here to talk about the second day of Eagles training camp for the 2025 season. And, just to kind of let everybody know, the last 23 minutes of training camp, I don't know what was going on social media, but nobody was putting out any news. It was kind of a weird day by the end of practice to what was going on. So I don't know what was going on, but just to let you guys know. But we finally heard from Vic Fangio. It's been a while. And really since minicamp, I think we haven't heard from him. But, we love Vic Fangio because he doesn't really hold back from anything. But the first thing he talked about was Jihad Campbell. And he really didn't think he was going to come back that first day. Now, Jihad Campbell did show up on that injury report as a light practice. And they're not even treating him as a light practice. He has gotten a lot of reps. He has done a lot of activities for a guy that's not supposed to be on a very limited type practice. So Fangio was pretty surprised over that. Now, as for some of the battles that are going on, whether it's safety, whether it's cornerback too, Vic Fangio says it's really still early to tell, which I know it's very early. And obviously Eagle fans are kind of pouring out and pretty much degrading any player that's not really playing within the second day of Eagles training camp, and that kind of affected everything. But we know that this is going to take a little bit longer than expected when it comes to some of these competitions. Fangio said it will take until the middle of preseason to really see what he's got in the building. If the Eagles have to make a move, if they need to make a switch with certain players on the field or something like that, then that's what they're going to do. But still early to tell on the competition from Vic Fangio's perspective, and I completely agree with that. Now, Vic Fangio did talk about Cooper Dejean, and obviously in base defense, this is not only what Vic Fangio said, but they did it on the second day of Eagles training camp. In base defense, he will play safety, and obviously in nickel, he will be on the inside corner spot. That's how they've been doing it, but I think there's a few reasons behind this. Now, Vic Fangio was asked about Mac McWilliams, the fifth-round pick cornerback that we ended up getting from UCF this past draft, and this is what he had to say. He said, another player we like, think he could play the nickel positions. I think he has a chance at corner. He's an interesting guy here in the next 4 to 5 weeks to see how much he progressed, to see if he finds a role with us. So you have a guy that has a lot of versatility right now, but really just finding the right spot for him. And I think what the Eagles want to do in Vic Fangio's case is they want to find that next nickel cornerback. They want to find him right now because they want to move Cooper Dejean all over the field. If Cooper Dejean is not playing in base, playing at safety, he will be the inside nickel corner. But Makuba has gotten those first team reps at safety when they're playing in nickel. But the interesting thing about this is I feel like they're looking for an inside corner replacement because I think they really want to move Cooper Dejean all over the field. And I agree with Vic Fangio because there's way too much value in this player to keep him at one position. We've been saying this ever since he got drafted. We've been saying this realistically ever since the middle of last season when things were going really well. I understand that inside corner has been a big weakness for the last few years until Cooper Dejean got in that spot. Ultimately, what is the future of Cooper Dejean 3 to 5 years down the road and where he's going to be? He's going to be that moving Swiss Army knife piece that you want on your defense, to be on the field, be there for specific matchups. The more versatility you have, the more players, especially as good as Cooper Dejean, if you have that type of player on your team, you can't just stick them to one position. And I think that's what Fangio is really looking for right now, is someone to take that inside corner spot so literally Cooper Dejean could just flourish into almost anything he wants into this defense. You thought our defense was good last year. Wait until he gets some of his own type of players that fits his scheme and that has that versatility at top level. It's going to be amazing. And then we got news on the cornerback situation, okay? We're talking about Quinyon Mitchell, okay? No Slay. You have a big competition at cornerback too right now that we'll talk about later in this video. But realistically, Vic Fangio did say Quinyon Mitchell will be playing on both sides of the field. Left corner, right, left side, right side. because the plan is, from Vic Fangio's perspective, that they're going to be shadowing Quinyon Mitchell on the #1 receiver. I remember that game, Slay versus Justin Jefferson, a few years ago, where he kind of shadowed him everywhere he went and kept him under 100 yards literally the entire game. And, it's a good thing for that, but it's a really bad thing because I think Vic Fangio knows that he has a weakness at cornerback too. And I think it's being very exploited right now. And you still have a lot of weeks to go in training camp, but he knows that he's got nothing there because when you had Slay in the building last year, you had, and on top of Quinyon Mitchell just getting better every single week. Both of those guys, you didn't have to move them. You didn't have to switch them. They were both playing at elite levels. So when you have two corners playing at the top of their game, two #1 corners, you don't really have to worry about switching guys and shadowing guys on better receivers or anything like that. This is a good thing, but ultimately a bad thing because you have no answer at CB2. And lastly, Fangio did talk about Jalen Hunt, saying he has very high expectations. The team has, the coaching staff, they have high expectations on Jalen Hunt as of right now, and why not? I mean, I agree with that. I mean, look, this was a guy that came from a small school, okay? Got drafted by the Eagles. This was a hand-picked pick by Vic Fangio. He comes into the offseason last year. He has minor surgery. He misses some time. He comes back. He plays special teams. And then, Fangio puts him in the rotation kind of middle to late of the season. Took him a while to get, used to things and get things going. Hit those playoffs, and he just turned into a different player. A 5th-round pick, and you're getting this much production, and a guy that just needed time. And a lot of these players in training camp right now need time. And that's why, to the average Eagle fan that has no patience, you're going to have to wait. Now, starting with the injury report for the second day of Eagles training camp, okay, will not practice. You had, obviously, Jalen Carter with the shoulder injury, which, this is the second day he's been out. Hopefully not much longer. We really need to get him on the field. Hopefully this week, maybe next week, depending on how bad the shoulder is. I know it's not that serious, but we're hoping for something better. You have, obviously, the former first-round pick in Kenyon Green. Second day he's out with this knee injury. He's got like a sleeve on his leg as well for the second day. So that was kind of expected, probably going to be out for a little bit. I know he was hurt during the summer workouts, and I think it's just been a lingering thing with him from what's been going on. So that right guard position is kind of being affected by that, but we obviously have more bodies at that position. And then limited practice for Jahad Campbell with the shoulder, which they're not even treating him like that, like we said before. And Cam Jurgens was limited with the back as well. So not doing too much, very little. And that's pretty much it for the second day of the Eagles injuries. Want to keep this list as short and small as possible. Now for some of the information we had at practice, okay, once we got into group and we were kind of doing some things here. Now at the cornerback 2 spot, it looks like the Eagles did make the switch. Adori Jackson, the veteran, had first-team reps at cornerback 2 over Ringo. Okay, we've talked about this a million times. They're going to move guys around. They're going to switch guys around. Ringo will get second-team reps. Adori Jackson will get first-team reps. Doesn't mean he's starting. It's the second day of Eagles training camp. Adori Jackson needs to get the reps too, and he's been around for a while, and thank God we do have him. I just wonder, is this going to be another New York Giant player that's going to be good in Philadelphia, or is he just going to be a guy that can come in for a few plays or maybe come in for a game and be all right as that number 2? But I guess we'll find out as the weeks go on, because I'm not really sure about Adori Jackson either and how well he's going to play. Now, as for the defensive line, Moro Ojomo had a pressure on McKee today, so we know that Moro Ojomo, in my eyes, is going to be in that Milton Williams role this year. He's gotten so much better when it comes to against the run, getting pressure on quarterbacks. I mean, he's gotten so much better every single year. Statistics are going up like crazy, and he's learned a lot from some of the other guys. And this is a late-round pick that's producing in a rotation. And I think he's going to have even a bigger role. I haven't really heard much on the newly drafted Ty Robinson the last couple days, so hopefully it's just maybe people aren't reporting anything, but hopefully we hear something soon on him. We heard that Trotter Jr. was really good against the run today. I mean, he stopped the run a couple times, and he gave up a pass to Devontae Smith in the middle, so it's hard to catch Smitty as a linebacker, so can't put too much on him for that because a lot of guys can't defend Devontae Smith in open space. But linebacker Zach Baun had a pretty good day too as well, where he deflected a pass that was aimed for Devontae Smith as well. So it was nice to hear his name in the second day of training camp. We know how Zach Baun just signed his new deal this year. He was the #1 priority for the Philadelphia Eagles when it came to free agency, and thank God, because that's what we were kind of asking for out of this linebacker group, and he has become a special talent under Vic Fangio, and I'm excited for Zach Baun to really go into this second year as a Philadelphia Eagle. Now, Jalen Hurts was 9 for 9 with the offense today, a couple to Devontae Smith. He rolled out to his left and threw a 15-yard to Devontae Smith, had another one in the middle, threw another one to Dallas Goedert as well, so he was very good today. No issues with Jalen Hurts. Now, Kyle McCord had E.J. Jenkins wide open for a touchdown. Totally lopped the ball way past him. So a total miss from him. Another guy that could potentially get better since we just drafted him this past year. And it looks like Dorian Thompson-Robinson is the third-string quarterback behind Jalen Hurts, behind Tanner McKee, which is interesting because we know that Dorian Thompson-Robinson has he's got to get better consistently in the pocket, but when it comes to his running style, it's almost very one-to-one when it comes to Jalen Hurts and him being similar. So, he's the third-string quarterback. Hopefully we'll see more of him. We'll see more of his work down the line when it comes to joint practices and all that great stuff when we get into the preseason games. There is one more thing to add in, though, when it comes to Jordan Davis. Now, he did have a press conference after the practice because I really want to put this information out, is that Jordan Davis is at 330 pounds right now. He lost 26 pounds, which is great, and he's using that bicycle, whatever he's doing that he was using at the end of last year to kind of get himself into more shape. But even him walking to that podium, I was like, wow, he looks amazing. He actually said to the beat writers, you wanted me to take my shirt off so you can see, as a joke, like, you guys talk about my weight loss so much, let me take my shirt off and show you more, see if there's like an 8-pack under there or something. So I thought that was really funny from Jordan Davis. And once the full pads come on, I want to see, like, does he look faster? Does his pass rush look better? And, a lot of people are saying he's in the best shape of his life and his career, not just for football, but, just for being healthy. And that's a good thing too. And other than that, guys, that's pretty much about it. I mean, there's still so much more to discuss, so much more that's ongoing when it comes to the camp battles, when it comes to Cooper Dejean, and ultimately, are they going to have their answer at cornerback too? And if they don't, could they be making a switch? It's going to be really crazy the next 4 to 5 weeks, and I'm all ready for it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day, and make sure you hit the like button because it helps out tremendously. You guys do the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Checks about Flower Slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.